Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Today we're jumping profoundly into the untidy existence of poster John Dark, a man who rose to popularity for his strong lessons and sumptuous way of life, however, whose individual life has worked up more show than an unscripted television show. From stunning monetary choices to dangerous contentions, this story is everything but customary. So pull up a chair and prepare yourself for reality, the entirety of the truth, and only the reality of the situation. How about we get into it? John Dim was brought into the world on June 26, 1973, making him a zodiac sign known for its close-to-home profundity and responsiveness. Since early on, John confronted critical difficulties in his day-to-day existence. In a meeting with the Sister Circle YouTube channel, he got serious about being raised by a single parent, a predicament that molded him in numerous ways. At only 6 years old, John encountered a horrible mishap when he was exploited by somebody. A difficult memory that he uncovered. Arid has never completely mended this early injury appears to play had a significant impact in his profound battles he shared, that regardless of his prosperity and awesome presence, he's been taking off from profound feelings of trepidation and weaknesses for the vast majority of his life in the most natural-sounding way for him. I've been running in the soul, implying that he has gone through quite a bit of his time on Earth wrestling with profound weights, frequently stowing away from his past ache and the sentiments that torment him. He depicted these feelings of trepidation as shadows that follow him, sneaking into his bad dreams and influencing his identity worth, even as a refined minister. The excursion to stand up to these internal evil spirits is continuous, uncovering a side of John Dark that frequently takes cover behind the spotlight. John Dim has been very open about the battles he confronted growing up, uncovering that large numbers of the men in his family managed deep-rooted addictions, and he wound up combating similar devils. He portrayed himself as a mom's kid with an exceptionally close attach to his mom, which he concedes impacted some of his connections as a grown-up. It's like one of those circumstances where a child is so appended to his mother that it makes issues when he begins dating, one of those things. Le parents wedding their children's circumstances. At one point John was even connected, yet that relationship didn't work out. Later, while working in the Adolescent Expressions office at his congregation, he met somebody who might change his life. He originally considered her to be important for them congregation's dance service and conceded he was a piece entranced by her. However, he at first thought she was a little peculiar. His advantage was nearly like he was following her, watching from a good ways. However, excessively bashful to make the first move, an entire year passed before he at last got the mental fortitude to move toward her. After a faith gathering, she presented herself as Aventer, and I don't have the foggiest idea about you. Yet, I thought she said symbol, and I resembled. What sort of story is this going to transform into? Joan and Aventer relationship got going with a straightforward discussion, yet things immediately took a seriously intriguing turn during their visit. John requested to get her telephone, and in what must be portrayed as a striking move, he messaged himself from her telephone so he could get her number. It wasn't well before their kinship transformed into something more profound, and they chose to take their relationship to the powerful. In 2010, they sealed the deal. However, their vacation was a long way from charming. Truth be told, they were not really good or bad broke, that they needed to share a shrimp mixed drink. It was a difficult stretch for the lovebirds, with JN conceding that they didn't have a lot of cash by any means. Clearly, Aventer didn't check his financial balance prior to saying I do, in light of the fact that those pockets were pretty much as unfilled as could to be. John playfully conceded that at the point when it came to cash, he was truly battling. Notwithstanding these early monetary battles, the couple invited 2 kids together. Anyway, what Aventer didn't know at the time was that she had hitched a man who was concealing a ton of individual battles and issues that would later become known. So despite the fact that they seemed, by all accounts, to be the ideal couple behind the scenes, John was taking on certain conflicts that would shape their relationship in manners Aventer hadn't expected. John opened up in a meeting with Sister Circle Television about the individual battles he confronted, uncovering that notwithstanding the devils he acquired from his family, there were likewise evil spirits he had welcomed into his own life. He shared that for a lot of his life he was continually fighting against his own impulses and nature, attempting to be a spouse, father, and pioneer. John conceded that he had no strong instances of these jobs growing up. His appearance on this was strong as he said, "How might you be what you've never seen?" This thought hit the nail on the head for him, particularly when he recognized that the spouse he picked, Aventer, was a lot more grounded individual than he was at that point. John admitted that he felt like he wedded somebody who was 2 sizes too huge for himself, and he expected to develop into the man she merited. He compared her to a coat that he couldn't yet fit, yet that she had been there to secure and uphold him. As he developed, he proceeded to make sense of that. A lady who is a covering for her man, somebody who lifts him up, will push him toward his predetermination. In contrast, a cover, somebody who holds him down, will keep him from arriving at his maximum capacity. When John shared his declaration on Sister Circle, the co-hosts were apparently moved, responding with cheers and adulation. Anyway, not every person was becoming involved with his words. Numerous watchers immediately saw through the profound discourse. Furthermore, they brought up that the minister appeared to be lauding Aventer, portraying her as a more grounded individual than he could at any point be. Some hypothesized that he was attempting to condition her and the crowd into tolerating his profound, unsettled individual battles, especially those that appear to be negatively affecting their marriage. The story he introduced suggested that a solid, dark, God-dreading lady like Aventer ought to have the option to bear these issues. The truth, as certain watchers brought up, is that society frequently puts this assumption on people of color, anticipating that they should convey the heaviness of their accomplice's concerns without grievance. The feeling was clear: people of color are time and again troubled with the possibility that they can deal with everything. As one watcher kidded, "Young lady, hush up. I was here before your butt." By 2016, John Dark had taken a huge jump in his profession, turning into a partner minister at one of the biggest places of worship in the country, Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston. Around a similar time, John's life went off in a strange direction into the universe of TV. Oprah Winfrey's organization, OWN, reported that JN would star in his own 8-episode docuseries named The Book of John. The show gave a behind-the-scenes check-out at his own nurturing watchers, an inside perspective on his home life, his job in the congregation, and his endeavors to help other people locally conquer difficulties. Yet what stood apart was the ticket. The series likewise featured his own battles, especially in his jobs as a spouse and father. In May 2018, John Dim was all the while filling in as a partner minister at Lakewood Church. Yet he added another job to his developing rundown of obligations he turned into the minister of Tireless Church in Greenville, South Carolina. This was a significant vocation move for himself, and it ought to have been a period of fervor and achievement, denoting a new section in his life. Anyway, things weren't generally so smooth as they appeared to be. Sometime thereafter, in July 2018, John wound up in the focal point of discussion. He, alongside other Dark ministers, was welcomed to the White House to meet then President Donald Trump. The gathering caused a stir and ignited banters with many. Scrutinizing the purposes for it, John made sense of it in an interview on The Genuine that the reason for the gathering was to examine ways of reintegrating jail detainees back into society. Presently, we should be genuine. Briefly, what did John Dark's own service have to do with meeting the president about jail change? It wasn't precisely inside the center of his service, and truly many individuals were addressing why he was associated with the in front of the pack. However, John shared that regardless of the disarray, God advised him to go, and he felt a sense of urgency to do so. He made sense of that. The issue hit up close and personal for him. Given his own family ancestry, he has cousins, uncles, and, surprisingly, his dad, who was in prison the day he was conceived. These individual encounters caused him to feel associated with the issue of jail change, despite the fact that certain individuals couldn't comprehend his job in it was anything but a simple choice. He realized he was gambling with his believability and notoriety, and, surprisingly, his better half exhorted him against going. Yet, in spite of the admonitions, John didn't hold back. He loaded up the primary trip to Washington, D.C. to meet with President Trump, completely mindful of the expected kickback. Thanks for watching this video.